Good morning, everyone. Today is the 25th day of Shvat. As we get closer to the month of Adar, towards the end of the week. Very exciting. Well, you have to go backhand on there? Okay, it's okay. We're learning about the Beinoni, so we're not perfect. When we get to our heads, it's not good. Okay, we need to be humble. So today is the 25th day of Shvat, February 23rd, Sunday morning. Beautiful day out. It's actually gorgeous outside. I was all bundled up. I'm like, whoa, didn't expect that. Okay, the flow is as follows. We're in the middle of chapter 27 in Tanya. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Yoni, of course. I am and Nati, everybody who's here. Jonathan and Richard and Ruven and Rabbi Jungreis and Steve. Great job. Leadership. Unbelievable. And David. Beautiful davening, David. Beautiful, beautiful davening. You're not in it. Okay. The flow is as follows. A Beinoni has a constant battle, constant challenge. If we know our place, we're not going to be perturbed and we get disturbing thoughts. We're not a tzaddik. If you start thinking you're a level of a tzaddik, first of all, ego. Second of all, you're never going to be clean of these impure thoughts that enter your mind. And third of all, you're going to be very upset. You're going to be very frustrated and depressed. In today's lesson, every small conquest of one's evil impulse, even permissible areas, is significant. With each triumph, one generates tremendous holiness. Let's say you eat, you're full, but there's another nice juicy sausage sitting there. Who's going to have the last one? Like, oh, I'll grab it because it's so delicious. No, you don't need it. You're full. You don't need that. It's funny. I made the kids dinner last night. I mean, actually, Levi did. Levi made them supper. They all had eggs and bagels, thing. Shayna eats. She leaves off for a little bit. She's like, I'm full. Like, there's 2 more bites. I'm full. That's it. You know what? It's a life lesson, right? So that's it. Even if it's permissible, not always. And I'm just sharing with, something very simple, but that's what it is. Even simple, something insignificant. So the central point of the above discussion was that through the occurrence of evil thoughts in one's mind and through one's battle against those thoughts, the Sitra Achra is subdued, causing great pleasure above. You think, what's the big deal? So I pushed something out of my mind during Shemona Esrei, during Shema, during Tehillim, whatever it is. No, you're actually, just like when you learn Torah, you're affecting the heavens and the earth. So when you push an evil thought out of your mind, you're also affecting much more than your own little reality. Give me 1 second, guys, please. So the central point of the above discussion was that the occurrence of these evil thoughts actually subdue the Sitra Achra. So it should actually bring you joy. Oh, first you're able to be Mekayim the mitzvah of that you shouldn't follow your mind and your heart and your eyes. You should be very careful of what goes through you. And then you should say, oh, I'm able to not just help myself and accomplish what my soul's mission is to accomplish in this world, but I'm actually helping the entire world. And this is not only talking about things that are fully permissible. Obviously, when we're fighting evil thoughts, does not only by fighting evil thoughts does one subdue their Sitra Achra, but even in matters that are fully permissible. As we mentioned, if you're full, you don't just eat for your personal pleasure. Every act of sacrificing one's impulse, even if it's a short while, delays partaking in the permissible and essential with the intention of subduing the Sitra Achra in the left part of his heart, achieves this end. You could have this, but you know what? Wait. You make a good coffee. You know what? Let me say brachos first. Let it cool down a little bit. Do I have to eat that candy right now? No, I can wait till after davening, right? Sometimes we can't help ourselves, and it's kosher. There's nothing wrong with it. But we can wait till after davening. We can wait till we need it, right? Does that make sense? But so he says, for example, when he wants to eat, but delays his meal for an hour or less. You know what? Finish davening, go eat breakfast. I'm not hungry. I'm going to wait a little bit. And in that time, he decides to open up a chumash and learn some Torah instead. Instead of wasting time, he decides to occupy himself with learning Torah. The Gemara says, Gemara says the fourth hour of the day is when all men eat, but the sixth hour is the mealtime for scholars. They would go hungry for 2 hours with this intention. By the way, you think intermittent fasting is like a new thing? The sages did it for centuries, for hundreds of years. The righteous people, you feel a little hunger, it's okay. It reminds you that Hashem gives you the food, and it reminds you, eating all the time, whatever you feel like eating, eat. Not good. And they would go hungry for 2 hours with this intention. Even though after the meal, they would still study all day long. Okay, so you say, why don't you just eat and then study all day? No, they would dafka push off the meal because we don't need to eat when someone tells me it's time to eat or when my stomach is hungry. I could say, you know what? I'm going to subjugate myself, even if it's a little uncomfortable. We're not talking about starvation. We're not talking about danger. We're talking about just, you can wait a little bit. Similarly, if one restrains his mouth from saying things which he greatly desires to say concerning mundane matters, even where there's nothing wrong with the words per se, yet he refrains from speaking them because he feels a desire. He just wants to say a few things. Oh, let me tell you what happened yesterday. It's not always important to say it. I guess I suffer from that. I'm sorry. And likewise, regarding the thoughts of his mind, he suppresses an urge to think about some mundane matters. You're in the middle of what's going on in the world? What is it? Weeks and weeks ago, a couple months ago, not that long ago, somebody coming to shul, and I'm only saying this with his permission. I said, "Why are you wearing a smartwatch on Shabbos?" No, I didn't say why you're wearing it. I said, it's better you shouldn't wear it, even though the person's not yet Shemesh Shabbos. He's well on his way. He goes, "I can just go and see what's going on in Israel." I said, "Why? What does you seeing what's going on change anything there?" So the news, you'll find it out after Shabbos. It's not going to change anything. He goes, "You know what? You're right." The next week he wore a different watch. He started wearing a different watch every week. Now this is little baby steps. But I said, I saw he was wearing a different watch, and I said, "Was that?" He goes, "Yeah, you mentioned something last week, and that was it." I said, "If you don't mind, I'd like to mention that." And he goes, "Please do. If I could inspire somebody else to be more, observant or from or whatever, like, to take on another mitzvah or stay away from something, then do it." And that's it. It's the little things that, what? I don't need to see that. One of the things I mentioned about Shabbos many times, you could sit here, you have your beautiful Shabbos meal, which you can't recreate. Wednesday night, my wife went to the Kinos HaShluchos, which today they're having the big banquet, 5:30. We're going to post the link. I already have it set up for 12:30 to send out. But so my wife went in Wednesday. She came back late Wednesday night, but we had, I made for the kids chicken soup and chicken. It wasn't necessarily a Shabbos meal, but it's similar foods to Shabbos. You'd sit around and have chicken soup and chicken on a Wednesday night. You're not going to have the same thing. People are checking their phones. Your mind's elsewhere. You're not dressed like Shabbos. Then comes Shabbos Kodesh. You have the chicken soup, the chicken, the kugel, the fish. Everything is amazing, but you don't. You're focused on family, on Hashem, on Torah, on singing the Gunim and Zmiris and everything. It's so wonderful. And then what happens if there's some kind of a chas v'shalom disaster, or even something good, something super exciting that happens in the next town? A hot air balloon lands in the middle of the town, and there's a big party and everything else, and it was unexpected, and some celebrity drops in, or whatever. Guess what? You don't know about it? It doesn't make a difference in your life. You think you have to know because it's so important. Why do you have to know? You don't have to know. If you have to know, you'll find out. Fear of missing out, right? So that's what today's thing is. In many years ago, it didn't matter. What was the most important thing? Your Shabbos, your Kinderlach, right? Wasn't it a nice Friday night? It's so calm and peaceful. It's beautiful. So what we do is if we could, and I really have a lot of I don't want to say jealousy because that's not a good thing either, or envy or either is a good thing. But I look up to Nati. He leaves his phone out. He does not bring it in shul. He leaves his phone in the other room. I'm not there yet, but that's an amazing thing because when you're davening, that's where you should be. You should be focused completely. David also leaves his phone out. Don't tell him you don't have one. Don't tell anyone. So you come to shul. What do you come to shul for? You come to daven to Hashem, right? These things distract us. True. So even a little effort, leaving a phone out, looking inside, putting away the candies. This subjugates the sitra akra here below. The glory of Hashem and His holiness is greatly elevated on high. By the way, no disrespect to your siblings. They slept in. They're it's Sunday off. They don't have school today. David, coming to shul to David. Look at that. And it's like it's an unbelievable thing. So all these little things. When we do this, we're instigating something on high. We're bringing down brachas, and we're lighting up our lives, and everything changes. The sitra akra is subjugated, and everything becomes so much more glorious. And this is just the catalyst, the springboard for you will become holy. Flip over to the next slide, Steve. And then he says like this, he says, the takeaway is suppressing a material temptation and urge. Even something as simple, like not eating for a moment, putting the candy aside, and taking the food for thought, which enters your mind, and pushing it to the side. Or not speaking, there's hot news, so-and-so got in trouble, let's talk about it. To the point, I have to call everybody and let them know that we don't need to know these things. And it's not going to change anything. If we need it for something, they'll call us and we'll come. And all these things, when you push them away, it has a cosmic effect of making the world a better place, and a place for Hashem. That's what we say in this week's parsha, right? When you make from me a dwelling place, I will dwell in them, in each and every one of you. Have a good day, everyone. Have an amazing, amazing week. And don't forget to join the Shalach Manas project. I got to start.